Hi, my name is Luis. We've been living here since 2016, so over 7 years. The house is built in '74. It has a little bit of a history. And we decided to live here because we are near the nature and the hiking trails of Mount Tam. We started this journey in 2017 when we replaced the windows. And our ultimate goal was to be, well, comfortable in one hand, so we could stay around the house and keep it cool and warm, not that hot. So we needed some sort of insulation against the cold and heat from the outside, but also to economically to save money ultimately, because we didn't have to spend so much in energy as we were spending. Also electric cars, I think we just were an early adopter. We bought the Chevy Bolt before the Tesla 3s were available to buy, and we love it. My wife loves it. She will never go back to a standard gas car, and yeah, we will ultimately buy the second electric car too. So come on in. I'd like to show you some of the things we've done here. Welcome to our living room. One of the noticeable things we did here in the last years were insulating the walls, because there was no insulation since '74. So this is the first time the house has insulation. We notice a big difference in how heat and cold gets exchanged from the house. Also, the double pane windows helps a lot in terms of insulating sun. It doesn't get as hot inside. There's a 25 SPF in the windows. We added this amount, 6 inches of insulations to the house, and this provided an enormous barrier against cold and heat. We did the same thing also between floors, and allow us to retain more heat on the ground floor, and also to insulate noises coming from the upper floor. Another thing we did while we're doing the remodeling is we replaced the old door with the insulated door, even double pane glass door, so we have more light coming in here, and it's wonderful. So when the sun is too strong, especially after 3 p.m., we get a lot of sun here in our living room, and so it doesn't get too hot, we have installed some blinds that I either control it via Google or through an app, and this blocks the light. We're replacing all the light bulbs with LED lighting, so we reduce enormously our energy consumption. So one of the things we did was also replacing our old gas furnace with a heat pump, which we control with our Nest programmable controller, and we reused the same vents to provide heat and also cold, which is an added value. So when it's too hot, we just turn on a little bit and it cools down the house. We used to spend a fair amount of money in winter time just to keep the house warm. By replacing with a heat pump, it's just reduced enormously the amount of costs. So this is the air handler, the outside part of my heat pump. It can take leaves, it can be in the elements, and it's very easy to connect to the inside unit. So now we are in the kitchen, and we change our appliances a little bit. So we used to have a stove, gas stove, and an oven, gas powered, and we changed it to an induction plate and an electric oven. So what we like about the induction is that we can really turn on full blast and the water boils in 1 to 2 minutes. Very fast, very efficient, and it's kid safe. It doesn't get too hot when you touch after it's being used. And our oven, it's an electric oven, and it's a fancy one. It's connected to the internet. We have an app, and we can program it to start remotely. So we can then leave frozen stuff in the inside, and while we travel back from work, we just turn it on, and by the time of dinner, everything is cooked. So welcome to our all-purpose room, and I'd like to show you my laundry. So we have a newer washing machine and a heat pump dryer, which I like it very much. It's a heat pump technology, so it doesn't spend as much energy as a traditional resistant, and it doesn't require vents, so all the water is condensed in a water deposit that I can just get rid of. And the machine didn't come with a timer, so I decided to have these little devices called SwitchBot, I think, that I can program to punch the buttons and start at midnight when I have a good rate for electrical consumption. So in sunny days, I put the heaviest items in this clothesline, and I just put it outside and leave it to dry. So these are data center server batteries. I bought them secondhand, super cheap, and I'm building this project out of my own because I love projects. So I'm connecting all the batteries to an inverter that will go in this wall over here, and we'll be able to be charging during the day with the solar panels. And in case of power loss, I will still be able to continue to use the sun power and the battery power. And at night, all the energy that is remaining can be used throughout the night, which is useful for cooking, heating, cooling, etc. 2 years ago, I bought a solar kit of 6 kilowatt hours of solar panels. It was the kit that included all the panels and all the material to assemble them, install them, and the permits. So I did that. It was relatively easy. It took me a month, 2 months, working on weekends and a little bit here and there. I installed all the panels above the garage, and now they come here on this integration panel, and they produce some power during the day. So we have a Chevy Bolt, and this is where we park the car and use this to charge it. Thank you for visiting my home. I hope what you saw would inspire you in your future journeys in saving energy, being more efficient in whatever you decide to be.